Whoa, it's a beautiful day for these reactions, man. Listen, like it before you light it, hit the sub before you hit the bud, man. Now listen, guys, couple of weeks ago I did a version of this video, and you know what, we finna run it back, man. If y'all haven't seen this one already, go check this one out. White people gentrifying food. Another content creator did their own version of this video, and we're gonna react to that one. Let's get into it, y'all.
Courtney Cook is being accused of cultural appropriation, going from the one being thanked to the one being questioned. Something many Asians grew up eating, soy marinated eggs. Suddenly, it's being packaged as a new recipe discovered by chronically online white people. Countless videos show people making it the Courtney Cook way, captioned with lines like, "Thank you, Courtney Cook, for sharing your food with us."
Oh, wow.
In another video, Asian food is labeled a weird food taste test. Decades, even centuries of everyday Asian household knowledge are now being reframed as an internet trend, a strange but tasty experiment. This isn't the first time. Matcha was mocked first, then rebranded as a health trend. Gua sha was laughed at, then renamed, repackaged, and sold. The issue isn't Courtney Cook herself. She didn't claim originality. She didn't deny the cultural source. But driven by algorithms and public discourse, she was automatically placed in the role of credit holder. Why does the same discourse, she was automatically placed in the role?
Interesting. You know what? She's doing it so innocently, seemingly, that is. I don't know if she's purposefully stealing it and saying, you know what, I'm just gonna put the work out there and I'm gonna let these people think I created it. I don't know if that's the case, but I do know this. White people get the credit for shit that niggas do and that Asians do and that everybody else do all the time, dog. They literally take the credit for it. And I don't know if it's on purpose. I don't know if it's unintentional. I don't know, but I do know that they get the credit for the shit. Anytime a TikTok trend comes out, bro, a black person might get 1 million views, but then a white person who is literally a nobody, or it could be a somebody, or do the same video and it gets 15, 20, 25 million views, and it gets an article on the news, and it gets a video on WLTV and all that kind of stuff. And it's like they getting invited to come do it live while the black person that created it gets nothing. It's kind of sad, bro.
Role of credit holder. Why does the same thing mean something completely different when a different person does it?
What the hell is that? Potato salad on the egg?
I'm back with another fresh take. Have you ever noticed how certain foods get ignored for years until suddenly they're discovered, rebranded, and sold at triple the price? The same dish that existed for generations in one community suddenly becomes a trendy menu item once it's repackaged for mainstream. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Let's get into it.
Hey, I know a New Orleans accent when I hear one.
How good this stuff is. I literally, like, bury me in a pile of cowboy cattle.
Sweetheart, do the salsa.
Let's make hummus without chickpea. Let's do it.
Let's not. As soon as I heard hummus, I knew where this is going. But let's pause at without chickpeas for a second. For the millionth time, hummus cannot be made without chickpeas. Let's continue.
Instead of chickpeas, I'm going to use beans.
So, a bean dip?
Into the food processor. And
Tahine. Tahine. Like hummus. Tahine.
They gotta stop with the stealing and shit, bro. Definitely. Somebody in the comment section of my old video said that they took burritos and started calling them wraps. They be rebranding shit in real time, dog.
Means fat in Egyptian dialect. By the way, tahine is also an Arabic word. It comes from the word tahan, which means to ground, hence grounding sesame seeds, which is how you make tahine.
add some water.
Please don't add water to your hummus.
Wow, so creamy. Now we're gonna plate.
That is liquid.
Juice from a tomato. Just drizzle it like olive oil.
Not
Yo,
like
is she like
oil.
Italian or some shit? What is she?
Evir, za'atar, and sumac, they both would be from Israel.
Stole from Palestine? In case you didn't know, Israel created a law that banned or restricted Palestinians from harvesting their own za'atar from their own land. Apparently, it's a protected species. But Palestinians who face constant threats from terrorist Israeli settlers while harvesting their own lands are not protected species.
Hey, it's crazy how the descendants of the people from Israel went through a whole lot of crazy shit during the 40s or the 30s, you know, and then fast forward to today, they the bullies. Crazy work.
Right?
Wow. Okay. This hummus is
Hummus.
Palestine.
Don't go make it. Unless you want to contribute to the continuous erasure of Palestinian identity and Palestinian self-determination and food sovereignty. Okay? Bye.
Food isn't just food. It's history. It's migration. It's survival. And many of the dishes people enjoy today were created out of necessity by communities working with what they had. Some things to use as example are tacos becoming gourmet street tacos, pho being bone broth noodle bowls, or fermented spicy cabbage, which is really kimchi, and the Caribbean barbecue rub, which is jerk seasoning. The recipe doesn't change much, but the language around it does.
The rich will never accept you, but they can take your food and make it theirs. Many of the dishes we know today as luxurious meals were once poor people food. Let's discuss the process in which survival food loses its context and becomes rebranded as luxury. I grew up in a farmhouse, and every weekend we would go into the farm to pick up hundreds of snails. They were so plentiful that we let the villagers and our neighbors pick them for free. Snails represented an abundant, low-barrier source of protein. Cooking and eating them wasn't a culinary discovery, but a practical engagement with our immediate environment. But look at the prices of snails today. They have been discovered. Sourdough was once the only option for
I ain't gonna lie to y'all, bro. I never knew that snails was like some shit that a lot of black people was eating out of necessity, dog. I never knew that. I swear to God, I never knew that. And white folks then took it and rebranded it and made it expensive as hell. I'm still not gonna eat it. I was never into snails, but it just shows to it goes to show that some people, a lot of people, ate them out of necessity, and now they have been rebranded into this luxury thing that is very expensive now. Almost an elite, top tier, gourmet experience type food.
People who couldn't afford brewer's yeast. It was survival food. Look at lobster in the 1800s. People who lived on the coast regarded lobsters as the cockroaches of the sea. It was so plentiful and so hated, it was used as fertilizer for crops and food for prisoners. There's a famous legend that indentured servants in Massachusetts had it in their contract that they couldn't be served lobster more than 3 times a week because that was seen as punishment. Lobsters only became a luxury when the railroad served it to inlanders who did not know their reputation. Or look at caviar. In the 19th century, it was a salty snack given away for free in Russian bars just to get people thirsty enough to order more vodka and beer. So how does the price jump come about? After years of eating refined and fancy food, the wealthy might start looking for something with more soul. Sometimes they find it in the kitchens of the poor and discover that the techniques regular people used because they had to, like slow cooking tough pieces of oxtail for 6 hours or fermenting sourdough with wild yeast, could actually have depth and complexity in flavor. Richard Peterson called this being the cultural omnivore. In the old days, rich people only liked classy things. Today, they prove they are cultured by knowing the best of both worlds. And by applying high status techniques to low status ingredients, the elite perform a form of cultural arbitrage, buying low on authenticity and selling high on refinement. This is the gentrification of the palate, a term explored by sociologists like Sharon Zukin. As the ingredients moves from the backyard to the upscale restaurant, the local supply chain shifts to meet the higher price points, and then the grandmother who mastered the recipe out of necessity is eventually excluded from her own tradition by the market forces who celebrated it. The history is co-opted, the survival is commodified, and the price of entry is raised until the originators are left with neither the food nor the credits. The cycle of gentrification is complete. If you'd like to see more of my explorations into food and culture, please follow along and let me know in the comments what's one food that was once cheap but is now expensive in the area where you live.
Oxtail. That was cheap. That was cheap. Oxtail, bro. Shit. Pork chops. Cheap. Everything high now. Straight up, dog. And the crazy thing is this though, man. Black folks and poor people, and I'm not trying to say black people are poor as a whole, but you know, if you had to single one group of people in America who are disproportionately represented in poverty, it's gonna be black folks, right? But with that being said, when you are without resources, or at least they're not in abundance, when you don't have a network, when you don't have the tools, when you don't have an abundance of food, you have to get creative. I think innovation and creativity is birthed throughout the lack of everything that you need, right? When people say to themselves, there has to be something I can do with the shit that I have, it breeds creativity. Or when people have something that's in front of them and it's difficult to deal with, it breeds innovation, because it's like, there has to be an easier way to do this. And I'll give you an example. Whoever had the hand drill, the one back in the day when they used to use the little winding thing to drill screws into wood and things, that person had to say to themselves, damn, it has to be a less laborious and faster way to do this. And then you get the power drill, right? And even before that, you just had a regular screwdriver. And then somebody said, nah, let's use simple machinery to make this thing easier, right? So it's always someone saying to themselves, how can I better this situation? And usually if you got everything you need, that's not a great breeding ground for creativity.
Hi guys, today I'm going to show you my newest obsession. I call these my sausage tacos that I have been obsessed with lately. I made it up all by myself and they're so good. Okay, so first you're going to take these really cute fluffy tortillas and you're just going to open them up. They kind of do it for you. And then I'm going to take this American kind of crema thing. I'm not really sure, but this is what I use. Coat it. Okay, and then I'm going to take the sausage, plop that in. And then I like to top mine with this American salsa de tomate, and then also this, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. I think it's mustard. I got it all at Trader Jose because it's super accessible to everyone. And there is my sausage taco. Make sure y'all blow this up so it gets super popular, and then it can start showing up in our stores, and that way
look, it's brought to you by the same creators of spa water and lentil wraps.
$25 for one of these.
So here's where people start to notice the shift. A dish that was once seen as ethnic food suddenly becomes artisanal, fusion, or elevated cuisine. So now concepts get rebranded from being traditional dishes to having simplified ingredients and presenting as new discovery. And then it changes the price to a premium price. The food becomes more palatable to mainstream audiences, not because the recipe changed, but because the marketing did.
Let's talk about cultural disrespect on social media. As an Asian American Vietnamese woman in this space, it's really exciting to see different people in different cultures try our culture's food. But I do want to shed more light onto the cultural disrespect that may be portrayed whenever it's on social media. My rule of thumb is to not yuck somebody's yum. Whatever you may not like and it's not your preference may be somebody else's go-to food, go-to snack. In the past couple of days, I've seen a lot of people try our culture's food or snacks, and I just wanted to implore people to be mindful of what they're posting. Now, if there's something that you don't like, there's no harm, there's no foul in you not liking it. Like, nobody can force you to like something or to not like something, you know? But I would implore people that whenever they don't like something to say that it's not your cup of tea, say that it's not your preference, rather than saying it's nasty, it's disgusting, maybe spitting it out or, you know, gagging over the food or the snack, because what you may dislike, what you may think is disgusting, our culture or some people in our community may very much like it. It may be a staple in our community. Again, I'm not saying that you have to like it or that you have to say that it's good, but just say it's not your cup of tea. Just say it's not your preference.
Shit, I know one thing, boy. I love me some Vietnamese food, dog. Real talk, bro.
Extra mile and showing how disgusting you think it is. Then we're venturing to something that's a little culturally disrespectful. And by a little, I mean a lot. I get it if somebody had a negative experience eating the food or eating whatever or drinking whatever. I would just implore people to be mindful, because a lot of the things that I'm seeing on social media, these are things that I grew up eating, and I'm like, I really love it. And some of the things may have taken me a couple of years to actually like or enjoy. But also, if it's my first time trying something and I don't like it and I just describe how disgusting it is, that's gonna probably deter somebody else from trying the exact same thing, but they may end up loving it. I understand that people have their preferences and opinions, but you can also have a preference and opinion without being disrespectful. Especially if you're a creator on social media and you're disgusted by another culture's food. What if some of your supporters are part of that culture and part of that community? I just find that disrespectful. But the other part that kind of baffles me is whenever creators whip out their phone, they film themselves eating whatever culture's food or the snacks, and they film themselves gagging or spitting it up or throwing up or saying it's disgusting or just going out of their way to make it look like it's so disgusting. And you freely post that just for the views, just for the shits and giggles, just for the laughs of it. While you may think it's funny, a whole culture or some people in the culture may find it very disrespectful. Everybody has the ability to improve. I just wanted to stress the importance of being more mindful on social media whenever you're trying different cultural foods or snacks, just to be aware of the impact that what you're saying may affect your communities. A few weeks ago,
Yeah, bro, it's like only one culture I would do that to, bro. You know, if you give me some raisin casserole, raisin potato salad, I'm like, ugh, yuck. Why would you fuck up such a perfectly good dish?
I made a TikTok about the gentrification of food right here. And I got a lot of comments saying that gentrification can only happen in neighborhoods and that I was using the word gentrification out of context. But if you are a person of color, then you would know that gentrification is happening not just in our neighborhoods, it's happening with literally every aspect of our diaspora. Food, our clothing, our music, like literally everything. Let's talk about the current food trend, the Korean soy sauce marinated eggs, mayak eggs. I think that's how you say it. I'm not Korean, but I do love me some Korean soy sauce marinated eggs. Mayak eggs are not new. This has been around forever. And now it's getting rebranded as Courtney Cook's soy sauce eggs.
Hold on, man. Let me see something right quick. How long have Korean moyak, is what it's called, eggs been around? I think that's what it was called. Oh, mayak. Often spelled moyak eggs are fairly new trend-style twist on older Korean soy marinated eggs, not a centuries-old dish. Traditional soy braised eggs, called whatever that is, have been a part of Korean cooking for a long time. More recently, the specific style, now called mayak eggs, soft or jammy boiled eggs marinated in a soy base, chili and aromatics brine, and marketed as addictively delicious, started gaining popularity in the 2010s and spread widely through social media and food blogs in the last several years. So in the form people usually mean today, they've been around roughly a decade or so, built on a much older soy egg tradition. So how long is the other one? There isn't a precise invented year X date for whatever that is, but it's considered a traditional Korean side dish and has been around for many decades. So at the very least, you know, white folks had to wait at least 20, 30 years before they got their hands on it.
Cooks weird food combinations, which also sounds like a microaggression in my opinion. I don't watch Courtney Cook's videos a lot, but I do know a little bit of her background. I know that she's really appreciative and open to Asian food. I have no hate against her, but I do think it's funny that Asian food is only appealing to white people when another white woman is able to translate it for them and basically make it seem more edible for them. This is what food gentrification looks like. The food itself doesn't change, but the audience does. Once it's validated by white creators, suddenly it's innovative, it's accessible, it's aesthetic, it's so cool, it's so smart. There's never any context, there's never any credit, there's never any history on it. And I'm not saying gatekeep Asian food. Nobody here is gatekeeping anything. Eat it, love it, share it, do whatever you want. But at least name it and respect where it comes from. That's literally the bare minimum.
But let's also acknowledge the other side. Food trends spread through restaurants, media, and social platforms. Once something catches the attention of entrepreneurs, they step in. And sometimes this could create opportunities for the original culture's cuisine to gain visibility. But other times, the people who created the dishes are pushed out of the spotlight while someone else profits. That's the tension.
That's like the tenderism dude, man. You know, everything worked out for him, though. He's doing his thing. And Destination Smokehouse is failing miserably, according to the videos I've been seeing.
A lot of foods weren't rejected because of taste. They were rejected because of perception. And we know that a lot of times we eat with our eyes first.
Right.
When immigrant communities first introduced these dishes, they were often labeled unfamiliar or strange. And years later, once the same flavors are reframed in a different setting, suddenly they're considered innovative. Same food, different audience.
If you're somebody who's ever had your cultural food mocked and ridiculed for how gross and stinky and disgusting it is, you know the frustration of watching your cultural food be shared by somebody. And it could be very well be shared by somebody who has done all the things by calling it by its name, by naming the country of origin, and not claiming that you invented it. You could do all the things. But now that we're on this scale, the scale of the internet, once somebody shares something, it is so easy, almost expected, that this food, because it's being shared by somebody who is not of that culture, it now becomes socially acceptable for people to want to try it. Now it's kind of safer. Now it's demystified. So now it's okay. You get the green light to try it. So our food that we've been mocked for essentially gets stolen from us repackaged, rebranded, and then served back to us as something that's almost sometimes virtually unrecognizable to what it once was. And I think it's
bro, it's so
unfair.
refreshing it's so refreshing to hear other groups of people other than black people complaining about things that white people do, man. It's really refreshing, dog. Shout out to all the cool white people out there, but this is refreshing.
And honestly, intellectually dishonest to blame the person that shared the food, who caused the virality of the food, because they cannot be responsible for thousands, sometimes millions of people and what they do and how they interpret, their content. That's just not fair. And honestly, what it does is it avoids the real problem. The real problem is, why do ethnic foods become acceptable once it's been detached from the people that it came from? And that the non-white culture that this food came from, it's optional. It's not an essential part of the existence of this food, when it absolutely is. That's something that I've been struggling with. How can we share food? Is it even possible to share food in a way that keeps it connected to the people that it came from? I know some people are all for gatekeeping. Gatekeep it. Don't show anyone anything. Don't share anything. But I think it's already too late for that, right? It's all over the internet. Anyone can access that information. So gatekeeping, I don't even think is a logical option. Should we keep calling it out, on an individual basis? Every time somebody does that, like on the internet, do we call it out? I really don't know. I really don't know.
If you keep calling it out, man, they're going to call that victim Olympics, dog. And they're going to gaslight you.
Know how to make Miss Courtney's viral soy eggs. Come on into the kitchen and let me show you how I am making my version, because we are obsessed, Miss Courtney. We love these eggs. Come on in and let me teach you guys.
Wow, she just got the credit for something that Koreans made popular. That
how to make them.
Sometimes you just need to eat an entire cucumber. And I tell you that I have been craving Logan's cucumbers so badly that I actually literally bought this thing. Why is this the most satisfying thing I've ever done? Okay, so we have our cucumbers. First, we wash with salt and water. And then I'm gonna drain these. Okay, so we do soy sauce, some rice wine vinegar, toasted sesame oil that I literally just went out and bought for this.
You're feeling sluggish and just in need of a reboot after the festive season, then you've got to try my ginger and lime chicken rice soup.
It's that time of year.
Hey, bro, that's one good thing that came with the internet, is that we could see them stealing in fucking real time. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's always kind of been in real time, but it ain't been in real time like this. Meaning, think about other things, like other aspects of life, music, dancing, and things of that nature. You got somebody like Elvis Presley, who clearly stole his whole flow, his whole swag from a black person. And then he made the whole genre popular. He's the king of rock and all that kind of shit, which makes no damn sense, because you can't be the king of nothing you didn't create. And not only did you not create it, it ain't even like you said, damn, I'm so inspired by these people, let me create my own thing. No, you literally stole bar for bar, word for word, move for move from a black creator. That's wild to me.
That I always crave a big bowl of something very resetting, and this recipe is just that. It's full of ginger, chili, zingy lime, and full of lots of really good gut restoring nutrition. I like to really amp up the nourishment in this by cooking the rice in a good chicken bone broth, but you can just use stock.
Now here's where nuance matters. Cultural exchange is normal. Food has always traveled. The problem comes when the origin disappears. So some questions that we should consider are the original creators acknowledged?
No,
are
they're
their
not.
businesses supported? And is the culture respected or just borrowed for aesthetics? Celebration is different from erasure.
Okay, is it just...
Yeah, that's not going to happen. They will literally open up their own restaurant serving the food from another culture while not giving them credit at all, bro. I've worked at these types of restaurants, yeah, that's what they do. Like, bro, they got white-owned taco places. I ain't gonna lie, I be eating there sometimes. The shit good. But it's crazy because I ain't never seen no Mexicans working there. Straight up. All white boys, man. We call them soap dodgers. The dirty looking ones that be on St. Claude and shit like that. Y'all, the punk ones, every city got them, dog. It's the dirty looking ones that be in the downtown area. Y'all know what don't act like I ain't spitting, man. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Go to downtown Portland, go to downtown anywhere. They always there, bro. Toe up shorts, biker boots, earrings everywhere, tattoos everywhere, dirty fingernail, and they always downtown, bro. Those are the type of people that be taking these restaurants and culturally appropriating people's food and not even employing anyone who knows the culture.
Me, or why is that lady famous for putting a stick of cheese inside of a baked potato, a sweet potato at that? And I'm not a hater. Sometimes I can be, but in this instance, I can't help but think about all the black people. We have been eating yams and macaroni and cheese on the same plate, sometimes with a little bit of greens juice on there, and you're telling me that because she stuck a piece of cheese inside a sweet potato, she caused the whole internet to go into frenzy. Not to mention, I just saw that apparently she co-opted an Asian recipe, putting boiled eggs, soaking them in soy sauce or green onions. And it's like this whole, she's getting opportunities to go on the Jennifer Hudson show because she's eating foods that people have been eating for forever.
I sure wish I could turn in my white privilege right now. Straight up, bro. If that's not white privilege, I don't know what is. And none of the brands and none of the sponsors are going to stop dealing with her, even though they know that this is, her basically stealing people's culture. No, none of them are going to stop. They're not going to stop inviting her to come and be on these shows and all that kind of stuff. The money not going to stop. It's really a cheat code, dog. It really is, man.
Y'all gave that lady 4 million followers.
For nothing.
You're under spells, people.
This message is for Courtney Cook and Courtney Cook alone, so if you're not her, keep scrolling.
You go watch the rest of Yunuri's video. She is a mutual, fucking brilliant, no notes, because she said everything I've wanted to say, but I was patient. I was like, you know what? Let this white lady pop off. And I don't know if do you think she's my auntie? I can never tell with these white ladies, to be honest with you. She my auntie, she my tongseng, I don't know. But I was just like, she wants to do the mayak eggs, amazing. But where she lost me is when she couldn't explain the historical context of burejjigae, which is like, it's a stew based off the trauma of our people. Essentially, it's a survival food based on the forced famine and occupation of the U.S. military.
Now that's some irony for your ass. Did y'all just hear that?
Isn't she a history teacher too, by the way? Like, could she have not looked that up and explained to her audience? And then not for nothing, but now she's making thousands and thousands of dollars as a food content creator when she went viral off of our people's food. And what is banana bonkers to me is that consistently people will make a mediocre white woman famous on here and rich by appropriating our food, people of the global majority. And isn't it so ironic that this is what spawned the H Markgate? Because we were side-eyeing white people to prevent this scenario going down. Because when we cook our food, it's ugly, it's smelly, it's gross. But when a white lady does it, ooh, a new 30-minute dinner idea.
Stop trying foods from different cultures if you are used to unseasoned food. If you grew up eating chicken that is only seasoned with black pepper and salt, if you think that black pepper is spicy, ravioli out of the can, Kraft mac and cheese, chicken nuggets and french fries, TV dinners, all of those things listed. What are you doing? Trying chicken tikka masala, trying curry, trying fufu. What possible accurate food review can you give we with you and your unseasoned palate?
She cooking.
Somehow you're too comfortable on this app. On top of that, you have no respect for the culture behind the food you're eating. If you don't like it, it's not for you, fine, cool. Don't come on here and spit it out on camera and be like, ew, that's so nasty, that's disgusting. Who can eat that? Fix your taste buds before you go to the restaurant and ask them to fix you a plate.
So y'all, that's my first take. Food crossing cultures isn't the issue. That's how cuisines evolve. The real question is whether people who created those traditions are respected, credited, and included when their food becomes profitable. Because flavors don't appear out of nowhere. They come from someone's heritage. So drop your thoughts in the comments. Have you seen culture foods get rebranded where you live? Like the video if this made you think about food a little differently. Subscribe for more conversations like this and share with someone who loves food history. Because around here, we don't just react, we add context.
Yeah, bro, that was crazy, dog. I thought the one I did was crazy, but this lady getting money hands over fist, stealing people's cultural food. That's wild to me, man. Damn. People can never get the credit for things that they created. They put laws in place for niggas not to be able to get patents for inventions and stuff. And then, you know, somebody white came along and got the patent and they became rich and, you know, they built generational wealth and things of that nature. And this is just, dog, if you really start to look into American history, dog, I just don't understand how people can come up with all of these excuses about how black people just be making up excuses and playing victim Olympics and things of that nature. Because I'm gonna show y'all something. I go more in depth on my other channel about this kind of stuff, but this is the kind of stuff that I talk about, right? You know, I asked Perplexity, over the past 200 years in America, can you give me a side-by-side comparison of things that black people have done to white people that would be oppressive, white people have done to black people that would be oppressive, right? And, you know, this is what they have done to blacks on the left, and this is what we have done to them on the right. And spoiler alert, is nothing that we have done to them once you go down this whole list, and it's a million things that they have done to us. And you feel free to screenshot any of this or screen record any of this, because somebody been lying, y'all. Somebody been lying. But anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Shout out to the Fresh Take, and then hype me up. Yeah, hype me up, man. I need them hypes, dog. Hype me up. Hope y'all enjoyed it. I'm gonna get at y'all on the next one.